And that's why I want Trump to run. I want him to run, and I want him to go back to the old ways. I want him to go back to calling Mexicans a bunch of rapists and drug dealers. I want him to continue to insult veterans. All right, speaking of people making smart decisions, Donald Trump is running 2024. Okay. Now it's a lot of talk. It's a lot of chatter, a lot of gossip. Okay, throughout the grapevine, and from what I heard, a lot of Republicans don't want Trump. A lot of Republicans don't want Trump. Now, the way I seen it is the old Trump. The old Trump is what got the midterms in the way that it was, because you had a lot of impersonators, a lot of people brown nosing the Trump, a lot of people trying to, keep that Trumpism. You know what I'm saying? That same energy that Trump put out. A lot of people tried to adopt that, and it didn't work for him. It didn't work because regular people don't care about conflict. They don't want the conflict. They don't want the fighting. They don't want the bickering. They don't want the demonizing of people. They just want their living situation better. That's all they want. And the people showed that when it comes to the midterms, when it came to the midterms. Now, before we get in the video, Trump has an option to stick with the old Trump, say whatever he wants Trump, cause a lot of frictions Trump, make the headlines every time he talks Trump, or he could take a new route. And just like his announcement when he decided to become president, I only watched half of it because honestly it was kind of boring. But he was kind of boring. He wasn't high energy Trump. He wasn't the old Trump. He's the new Trump, more quiet. I mean, he did say execute every drug dealer, which, I mean, that was kind of weird. It's like, okay, you sell weed, so you're gonna get the death penalty. But I mean, other than that, he didn't say anything too crazy, which is weird. That's the bar of craziness, I guess, nowadays. But let's hear what other Republican analysts have to say.
Erick Erickson is here, perhaps the smartest Republican commentator in the country. Host of the Erick Erickson Show, publishes a must-read Substack newsletter I'd encourage you to sign up for. Didn't the party elders and the entire GOP establishment and 16 other Republican candidates try to banish Donald Trump back in 2016?
They sure did. He captivated the hearts and minds of Republican voters. I'm not sure he's doing that at this point, but he certainly did then. And piling on him from that wing of the party really only emboldens him. The people who are attacking Trump from the left side of the party do nothing but give him strength. If they shut up and ignored him, he would start to fade away.
It's interesting you say you're not sure whether they support him or not. Polling Trump versus DeSantis, potential Republican primary voters, if held today, Donald Trump 48, Ron DeSantis 26. There is nothing that Donald Trump loves in his life more than a poll like this.
I guarantee you, Trump took a screenshot of this, printed it out in one of the biggest poster size posters he can get his hands on. And he has this on his wall. Okay, he has this on his wall next to a selfie of Putin and Kim Jong-un. Okay, he loves this right here. This is what turns him on. Now, I don't know. Let's get into it.
Yeah, that's right. But then you take it state by state and break it out. So he wouldn't be winning Georgia. DeSantis would win it. He would win. DeSantis would win Florida. Depending on the order of the states in which they go, that hurts Trump because as you go around to those states and DeSantis's momentum built, it would be a problem for Trump. Now, also the donor class. The reason he's jumping out right now is because Ken Griffin of Citadel, a hedge fund, decided to go with Ron DeSantis, and Trump's trying to stop all the other donors from headed that way as well. He doesn't want to spend his money. He wants to spend everybody else's money.
Yeah, Ken Griffin also spent about $50 million in the Illinois Senate, Illinois governor's race. He couldn't even get the guy out of the primary.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, Ken Griffin has a lot of money he can throw around, but he's one of many. A lot of the major donors had sat on the sidelines wanting to see what happened. Really, it's the small dollar donors because they're the voters. And if DeSantis can get them or someone else can get them, that hurts Trump. That he's jumping right now, though, before the Georgia runoff is something that's probably, if Walker loses, and frankly, the odds, I don't know that they're in his favor, that's something else they pin on Trump. As NBC had a poll, and actually we now know NBC's poll was pretty spot on given what happened. 30% of Republicans say they're Trump voters. The rest say they're Republican voters. That sort of stuff matters as we've gone on further.
Right, but if 30% of
that 30% is still 30%. That's a nice chunk, bro. That's a third of that sucker. You can't just shake that off.
Republican voters are Trump voters, and you've got 10 other Republican candidates in the primary. Those 30% stay with him, and the other 70% are split up among the 10. Neither you or I are mathematicians, but that means Trump wins the primary.
Oh, Lord, I went to law school to avoid math, but I can tell you if you do have 10 candidates in that race, yeah, Donald Trump wins. These people are going to have to swallow their ego and decide, do we want to win or do we want to run for president?
I got two questions each for about 30 seconds. One is the argument we have in our office. Our executive producer seems to think that if the Republican establishment just tried hard enough, if the Politburo just banished Donald Trump, they could do it. Is it really up to them?
Banish?
No.
Whoa. No. First off, we cannot just banish Donald Trump, okay? The Republican Party created this monster like Frankenstein. The Republican Party created this monster, and now they're just trying to, forget about him? No. Do you honestly think he's going to let you banish him from the Republican Party? No. Well, you guys got to deal with your craziness, deal with the monster you created, and let that implode your party.
It's not. It really is up to the voters. Trump, though, thrives on attention. You stop giving him attention, he actually starts to fade. Voters move on to other things.
Right, but he can't not get attention. And the media loves to give him attention. There's nothing more than CNN and NBC and Morning Joe love than a good Donald Trump story.
That's exactly what you're doing now.
It helps the Democrats, which is why they all give him attention. I find it funny on Twitter now. Everyone tells me what Donald Trump is putting up on other social media sites as opposed to just ignoring him.
So, again, why is that? Is Trump the drug that nobody can quit, but Republicans realize could be their demise?
Yes. I mean, the media, to the extent there's a liberal bias, the more they play up Donald Trump, as we've seen in this election cycle, the more it helps the Democrats. So they give him maximum exposure. Can't really blame them. I would do it if I were a Democrat.
And that's why I want Trump to run. I want him to run, and I want him to go back to the old ways. I want him to go back to calling Mexicans a bunch of rapists and drug dealers. I want him to continue to insult veterans. I want him to continue to, poke and make fun of women. I want him to do the whole nine. Actually, I want him to turn it on up. I want him to feel like he needs to go balls against the wall when it comes to this election. It's like, because he's not going to be able to run again. I mean, he could, but he's going to be pushing 80 by this point. You know what I'm saying? And he's already, testing the fates here. So I want him to go back to old Trump, because the new Trump might actually have a chance if he, make sure he crossed his T's, dotted his I's, stood up straight, pulled his tie a little tighter, come correct. He might actually could have a chance. You know what I'm saying? But we don't want that. We want old crazy Trump. We want him to take all the oxygen out of the room when it comes to these other Republicans. And he's going to do that. He's going to attack everybody and anybody so he could win.
Well, and it is at least working because of the statements he is putting out now. Scorched earth policy. It's almost like we're seeing exactly 2015 replay all over again. Eric, it's always good to see you, and our thoughts were with you and your wife over the past couple of days. We're glad to hear she's well.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to
Thanks for watching. All right. So like I said, I think honestly, if Trump ran for president, or what he is, I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's not going to be good for the Republican Party because it's only going to divide the votes, and no one's going to give up. People are not going to just make the way for DeSantis if he decides to run. If he doesn't run, Trump is getting that hands down. So the Republicans probably need DeSantis to run. And it's only going to go down from there. And who's going to win that battle? Trump for sure. Trump is going to bring everything in the kitchen sink. He's already done, talked about, he knows some things about, DeSantis. His wife doesn't even know about him. So, I mean, but that's good for Democrats. That's good for Democrats, honestly.